Today, we're making Ragu Ga, or Vietnamese chicken ragu. This is a home-style chicken stew heavily influenced by French culinary traditions, combined with Vietnamese ingredients and flavors. The term ragu is borrowed from the French, referring to the cooking method of slow cooking or stewing. And Ragu Ga is a rich and comforting dish that reminds me of home. If you've never had Ragu Ga before, it's an incredible and simple dish. It's filled with tender chicken, carrots, and potatoes, all simmered in a tomato-based stew. It's super easy to make and bound to be one of your new favorites. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands? The first step is processing our chicken, and you can use any kind of cut of chicken you want, and this is commonly made with whole chicken broken down. But today, we're going to be using about 3 pounds of chicken quarters. Using my cleaver, I'm going to cut up the chicken into more manageable sized pieces while trimming away the excess fat. And I'll be the first to admit, my butchering game is not very strong. It's not something that I practice often, so I definitely need to get a little bit better here. Once we get all of our chicken chopped up, we'll add it to a mixing bowl, and we'll get that marinated with a tablespoon of fish sauce, half a tablespoon of sugar, half a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, some salt and pepper, and a splash of oil. We'll get our hands dirty and give that a good mix. And then we'll let this vibe out in the fridge while we get the rest of our prep work done. First, I have a yellow onion that I'll peel, and we'll just give that a rough chop. Then I have an extra large carrot, and legit, just look at the size of this thing. It's as big as my forearm. That's crazy. Anyways, we'll just peel that up, and we're gonna chop the carrots up irregularly into about 2-inch pieces. Now, cutting the carrots into different shapes while keeping them all roughly the same size will give our stew more visual interest and will help cook the carrots quicker as more surface area is exposed. This is a common cooking technique in Vietnamese, Japanese, and other Asian countries. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Vietnamese and Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. Now, once we have our carrot cut up, we have to make sure to pay the carrot tax. Then we'll repeat that with 3 Yukon Gold potatoes, and if you want a more rustic vibe, you can leave the skin on. And again, we'll cut our potatoes up irregularly into about 2-inch pieces as well. Finally, we have some green onions that we'll just chop up to use as a garnish later. Once we have all that done, it's time to cook. Now, to a big pot on medium-high heat, I'm going to add in a splash of oil, and then we'll pan fry our marinated chicken, browning off both sides for just a couple of minutes. We'll remove the chicken from the pot, deglaze with a knob of butter while sauteing our onions, making sure to pick up all that fondant flavor. Drop in a tablespoon of minced garlic, and saute for another minute or until fragrant. Then to the pot, we'll add in about 3 ounces of tomato paste, and we'll continue to cook that for another couple of minutes to allow its natural sugars to caramelize and the flavors to deepen. We'll add back in our chicken, give that a good mix, making sure that all the chicken is coated. Add our carrots and potatoes and give that another good mix. And then we're seasoning our Ragu Ga with 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. We'll add in about 2 quarts of water to the pot, or just enough to cover a little more than half the ingredients. Then we'll drop in a couple of bay leaves. We'll bring that up to a boil, reduce the heat to low, and let that simmer covered with a slight crack for about 20 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through and the veg is fork tender. After that, we'll add in some black pepper, make any final adjustments to the seasonings, and then it's time to plate. Now this can be served with a crusty Vietnamese baguette, but today we'll serve it over rice, allowing every grain to soak up all that delicious flavor. So we'll get our Ragu Gà into the bowl, making sure to get a little bit of everything. And then we'll garnish it simply with our green onions and some fresh ground black pepper. And just like that, you've made Ragu Gà at home. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. Now, before you leave, I want to take a couple of minutes to talk about fusion food, because fusion food often gets a bad rap, and sometimes it's well deserved, especially when people try to profit off of someone else's culture without taking the time to truly understand or respect it. When done carelessly or insensitively, fusion foods can feel exploitative, leaving a bad taste both literally and figuratively. But personally, for me, when fusion food is approached with thoughtfulness and care, it plays an essential role in our evolving food culture. It's a way to bridge gaps, honor traditions, and push culinary boundaries. And without it, we risk stagnation. There would be no room for growth and no space for innovation. Now, take Vietnamese cuisine for example. Many of the dishes we know and love today, like pho, bao kho, or even this dish, Ragu Gà, are the direct results of cultural exchanges. They wouldn't be what they are today without the influences of Chinese imperial rule or the French colonial occupation of Vietnam. These historical interactions reshaped local ingredients, cooking techniques, and flavor profiles, blending native traditions with outside influences in ways that enriched our food culture. What we celebrate as traditional Vietnamese dishes has always been adapting and evolving with time. So in a way, fusion food isn't something new or foreign to Vietnamese cuisine. It's just another chapter in its long history of cross-cultural culinary exploration. So when it's done right, fusion food is simply a modern continuation of this legacy, a way to create something unique while respecting and honoring the past. Now, if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments section what your thoughts on fusion food are. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.